Hello, everybody. I'm Brian Hogman here, and I've got my good friend Tobias Smulders.
With Remax Escarpment.
What's up, buddy?
Team Smulders, property maintenance.
Yes, property maintenance, real estate agents extraordinaire, everything real estate, right?
Everything we can.
So I'm super excited. We are starting the Pig Podcast. What does that stand for?
Platinum Investment Group.
That's right. The Platinum Investment Group, population 2 right now.
Population 2.
Me and you.
And growing.
Yes. But you know what? Something that we're both super passionate about is investing in property. I think it's fair to say I know it's changed my life. It's changed your life as well, too.
Incredible impact.
Yeah. So, and between the two of us, we were counting up. I think we got about 40 units and a multi-gazillion dollar portfolio, right?
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Well, maybe not that high, but we are aspiring to get there. So what we want to achieve with this is really educate people on investing in real estate, from the person who's, never bought investment property before up to the person who's buying maybe their 15th, 20th unit. Right?
Totally.
So let's talk about, why did you get started in real estate? What made you buy your first rental?
I bought my first house really young, and it was partly out of necessity to be able to pay for housing.
Yeah.
My family left the area and I didn't want to leave. And I was sort of just at that cusp where I was working on my own and had a little bit of skill. So I bought a really dumpy fixer-upper
that
had a couple rental units in it. Yeah. And all started
So
from
was it
there.
Duplex or triplex, or was it
It's 4 units.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you must have been almost living for free when you first bought that place, right?
I lived for almost free. I had a ton of interest costs, which is a scary thing.
Yeah.
But it was sort of just a machine. Everybody was already paying their rent, and I took over one of the units out of pocket, fixed everything up myself by hand, learned a lot of skill that way too, which was helpful through the whole career of real estate landlord ownership.
Yeah, totally.
Sort of thing. Anytime something needed to be fixed, I'm like, oh, we did this in the dumper that I had to live in.
I can do that.
I can fix this for you.
See, this makes so much sense, and it boggles my mind. Why do more people not do this? Like, your first house was a fourplex. My first house was a duplex, right?
Yep.
Why do more people not do this? Why do you think?
I think a lot of people are scared. I think that's a big thing to overcome, big fears. And then also, I think a lot of people just aren't willing to give up that comfort, that sort of sacrifice of when you have your own space versus when you have somebody in there that you have to be mindful of.
Yeah.
There's a trade-off for that. But I lived with that for a long time.
And I think it's honestly... it's
not as bad as it
I think
sounds.
You're right, and I think it's kind of bullshit at the end of the day too, right?
It's
Would you not
excuses.
say?
It's excuses.
Yeah, because like when I look at it, you know what? I felt better in my duplex knowing that all my expenses were paid.
Yeah.
And I would have been scared shitless if I was on my own, like having to make that mortgage payment.
Totally.
And that's where I think the fear part of it is really, really... It's messed up. It's backwards.
Fear's a funny thing because it's really a made-up thing in your head that you've gone over these scenarios that haven't happened. They're not real. You're just thinking about them, and if you focus on all the positives that could come from something like that, it really outweighs the fears in terms of the financial freedom that it can provide. In the short term, I lived for free.
You live for free.
I lived for free.
That's crazy.
You got to live for somewhere. You got to live somewhere.
Right.
So you might as well not be paying rent.
Right.
If you can, put in a little bit of effort. It was really minor effort.
Yeah, totally.
To have tenants paying and live for free. And then your money can be used for whatever you want to use it for, whether it's for further investment or whether it's just enjoying life.
Yeah.
But in short term, I live for free. In the long term, like 5 years down the road, values increased, rental costs increased, the property value increased.
So let's talk about that. Because I think most people, the fear of not being able to make money every month, right?
Totally.
So cash flow, I think that is my number one priority for investment all the time. But what are the 3 ways that you can win in real estate? The 3 ways you make money?
Totally. There's 3 avenues. You get your cash flow, which everyone looks at. But the unsung hero, I think, of real estate investment is the amount that gets paid down on the mortgage.
Yes.
Like,
I know.
Right now at mortgage rates, we're in the first 2 years, 50% of the payment goes to principal, roughly.
Totally.
So even if the mortgage payment is high, which is people are concerned about, half that's going back into the pocket of the house anyway.
Well, I look at it
on a forced savings.
Yeah, on a house, if you're between $400,000 and $500,000 on a mortgage, you're paying off almost $10,000 a year in principal, right? It may not seem like a lot. But when someone else is doing it, that's kind of nice.
That's kind of nice, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You're right. It's that mysterious one that no one ever looks at, but it's $10,000 that is going into your net worth every single year.
Totally. And then your appreciation, which more people think about, and that's always hard to put a value to.
Right.
Sometimes it might be huge, like we had a bunch of really incredible years in Hamilton and the surrounding area, and then sometimes it's not so huge, but you can always bank on it being there.
And when you take those three things into consideration, you're paying down your mortgage by say $10,000 a year, and let's say real estate goes up on average even 3% a year. Like I think that's pretty conservative, right? Given we had double-digit returns in 2017, we had a little dip this year, right? But let's say 3 on a $500,000 house. If you paid off $10,000 and it went up by 3%, that's $25,000 in 1 year.
It's incredible,
right? Like I didn't make that much money in my first year working. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think I made that much money when I bought my house working full time. So it's almost like you have a little soldier that goes and works for you, and every week they come.
I feel like you're channeling Kevin O'Leary right now. The little soldiers are going out and coming back.
Little soldier goes to work for you and then gives you their whole paycheck.
It's so true. So like this stuff, and this is why I'm passionate about our podcast here. I'm passionate about real estate investment. Really want people to do it because it's to you and I, it's so simple.
Yes.
Right? It makes so much sense, right? So who should invest in real estate? Who should buy a rental property in your mind?
I always pressure everybody to do it because it's been so great for me. There's nothing bad really to say about it. There are, the stories, which we'll get to, about the bad stuff. Right. But there's so many great things that come out of it. Even with bad experiences, there's always great things that happen.
Right. Right. You know what? I always say, who should buy a rental property? You can't see us right now, but I'm touching your wrist to see if you have a pulse.
Yes, there you go.
That's who should buy a rental property, right? So I 100% agree, right? And I think it's just taking a plan and executing on it and doing it, right? Totally. It's like Nike, just do it. Just fucking do it.
Just do it.
I know.
There's so many people that are always on the fence about stuff. I have clients that for 2 years have been talking about buying a rental property. And they're always concerned about what's the right one, what's the right thing. If they just bought anything 2 years ago, they would have more than doubled their investment probably.
I agree.
With 20% down on a house, $80,000. I bet they made more than $80,000 in the past 2 years.
Yeah. You know what? And I think with the right strategy and plan, now again, I'm not a get rich quick guy. I know there's lots of people who flip homes do well. We'll talk about that on another episode. I know there's lots of people who buy on speculation, and I know lots of people do well with that. I am an unsexy investor.
Yes.
Not that I'm unsexy, but but I mean, like,
sexy.
Thank you. But like, I like just cash flow. Do you know what I mean? I like it to make sure that it makes sense, and you buy it and hold it and keep it for a long period of time.
We've all heard the story, the tortoise and the hare.
Yeah,
tortoise always wins. That's a rental
so true,
tortoise,
right? It's so true. You know what? I was talking to a 65-year-old guy, and who is a big builder, and my favorite thing that he said was, he goes, "I've never seen houses as expensive as they are right now." And I've been saying that since I was a teenager.
It's perfect.
Right?
Yes.
So I think, you know what, I'm really excited about this to show people the way. And let me ask a different question then. Who shouldn't buy an investment property? Is there anybody that you think shouldn't buy an investment property?
Awkward long pause.
Awkward long pause.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that it doesn't matter. Even if somebody might say if you're unsure about where you're going to be, that doesn't matter, because there's programs in place where tons of people have rentals that aren't where they live. You don't have to be close to it, and we'll talk about that sort of thing as well in a future episode. I agree with you. People say I'm not handy, I can't fix it. That's good. There's services for that. And the way you make money in real estate, whether it's rentals or flipping or investing or private investing, there's systems to make it so you still generate money no matter what.
I 100% agree. One of the lines I live by is that there is never a lack of resources, no matter what your situation is. There's only a lack of resourcefulness.
Yes.
Right? If it's you don't have money, other people have money. You put together, I met with a great kid. We do a lot of talks at Mohawk College.
Yeah.
He had no money, right? So what does he do? He puts together a business plan to raise money to buy a property.
Amazing.
Right? Just be resourceful, right? And I agree because I was kind of like thinking to myself, is there anybody that shouldn't buy a rental? And you know what?
Yeah.
No.
Totally.
Because I think it's just a limiting belief.
Yes.
If you think something's going to go wrong. If you eliminate those limiting beliefs, you can make everything happen. I think what our goal is, Tobias, is to really squash those limiting beliefs for people, because what's possible when I look at, the short amount of time that we've known each other, well, it's been years now, but it feels like it's gone by in seconds.
It goes fast.
You've blown up. And I think that stuff doesn't happen without having a financial background or a financial security blanket, which you've provided for yourself through rental properties.
Totally. And actually, it's funny you bring up the fellow with no money. That's not even a person that shouldn't buy a rental property. If you have no money, you should definitely buy a rental property. And there's great things.
Because you need money.
Because you need money. But like through partnership, there's a lot of people who have lots of money and no interest in all the other stuff. If you make a business plan with somebody who, I did it even personally with my brother. He doesn't have all the money to buy a rental right away. I said, perfect. We're going to make a partnership. I'm going to be the money and you're going to be the work. And we're going to put together a plan in order to get it so that you do have money and a rental property, and then we'll continue to grow together, or you can even branch off on your own, and we put lots of plans in place for that too.
I totally agree. And you know what? Yeah, is absolutely right. If someone's listening to this right now and they say, I have no money, stop asking yourself. That's a bad question to be asking yourself. You should be asking yourself, how do I get money?
How do I get money?
How do I get one?
Yeah.
When you ask yourself the right questions, your brain will access the answers.
Totally.
If you say, I have no money, you've already shut the door in your brain. It doesn't have to think. It can go to sleep.
Go to sleep.
Right?
Yeah. It's, I don't have any money right now. How do I get it?
How do I get money? There is people that will invest. Like you said, there's equity partners in real estate.
Partners.
People that don't want to do any work.
Yes. Or don't have time to do the work.
Right, but still want to invest in real estate.
They still want to invest in real estate. And I think that there's a lot of people like that, especially they get so busy, whether that's they already have businesses that are successful or they're just looking for different revenue streams.
Right.
And the income on property is so great that it can be really profitably split between, 2 partners or 3 partners to still make great money, and return on initial investment is excellent.
I 100% agree. And sometimes you really have to look and say, what do you do every day that you spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week doing, and how much that pays you? Why wouldn't you have something building in the background that can help you achieve a new level of financial security that I personally wouldn't have even dreamed of had I not read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
That's a great book.
Back in the day.
Yes. And that's another thing too. So working in the background, that passive income. Mm-hmm. A good quote is, passive income's not built by passive people.
Yes, sir. I like that.
Passive income's active with a plan, and then you can make it happen.
Yep. Totally. Oh, I love it. You know what? I'm so excited about this. So we're going to be doing this every single month. If anybody has questions, please email myself or Tobias. The links will be below. This is going to be the PIG podcast. And that Platinum Investment Group. And we will be growing members eventually once we figure out what the requirement is.
There we go.
We'll figure that out. All right, man. Dude, I'm so glad to be doing this with you. I'm excited. And tune in next time for more educational tips on investing in real estate.
Thanks, Brian.
Cheers.